the fixation upon the content of our experience, the fixation on thought, on sensation, on feeling, on emotion, on perception, and causes us to derive our identity from that. It becomes a sticky situation. We assume that's the way things are. If anger is experienced, then I am angry. If sadness is experienced, I am sad. When this happens over and over again, we create a story. This is who I am. This is what's happened to me, and therefore I am this. I am wounded. I am unworthy. I am unlucky. I am special. I am successful. I am powerful, or I am not powerful. And we create a whole load of narratives about who we are, who we think we are, based on experience, based on perception. And so we get seemingly lost or imprisoned, limited by the finite. Finite in the sense that all experiences are finite. They begin and they end. For all the experiences, times, moments of strife and struggle and anxiety, there are also probably an equal amount of moments of peace, silence, in between each breath, the moment you fall asleep, a moment in nature. But somehow we weigh up the ones that we don't like, the unwelcome ones, the painful ones, and all the identity is shifted to that. This becomes a lopsided view of reality and of who you are. And then all the attention is given to that, to try and fix it, control it, manage it. Usually with a myriad of spiritual practices or psychological practices, in order to tip the balance back. But that's not the resolution. Of course, our stories, our histories, our unique human experience, although there is a commonality to it, allows us to communicate with each other, to relate to each other, to share and reflect, to learn and grow, or not in some cases, to function. This is not to be completely thrown away, but when everything is invested in that, then we've given our allegiance to the narrative of self, not the truth of self. In that way, we've come to believe that the self, the me self, is the center center in the sense of everything I experience is happening to me, and I'm at the center, and therefore have to manage that, control it, navigate it. Because it's happening to me. And what's happening to me is divided, split up into what I think should be happening to me to make me feel better, to get me ahead, and that which shouldn't be happening to me because it's doing something wrong or bad. The invitation of direct seeing, direct validation of what is here, naked seeing, not coming with a pile of assumptions. That invitation allows the possibility of that center coming undone. And when the center comes undone, you don't fall apart. That's not what happens. Your life doesn't crumble. You don't lose control. Well, you do, but not in the way that you think. You come undone. And in that coming undone, there's space, inner space. In fact, there is no inner or outer at that point, because life isn't outside you, happening to you. There is no inside or outside. Only when there is a construct of being the center is there seemingly an inside, me, seemingly located inside the body, inside the brain. This becomes a boundary. It's only a visual boundary, a sensorial boundary. And then life is out there, and all the things I experience are happening to me. And this becomes a problem. This becomes a prison. When the center comes undone, there is no inside or outside. There is space. There is space for God. You are not the controller, not God as a higher power or a higher entity or some mystical being, but life itself, the intelligence that moves everything, the intelligence that moves the galaxies, the solar systems, the planets, the cells in what we call the body, the breath, everything. That intelligence starts to move through you. You don't need to be in control of that. You are the vehicle through which that movement takes place. We can approach this understanding, this recognition in many different ways. And we do. As many of you have heard through the many discourses, you may think that perhaps what's being spoken about are different things, different topics, but it's all one. It's all one, coming from many directions to point to the same, the undoing of the false construct of me as a separate entity. Awakening is the falling away of identity, which doesn't mean the falling away of the human experience, or even the role that you play in that. Simply the falling away of the many false assumptions attached to that. That's really what it means when there's any mention of no self. No self doesn't mean the body stops functioning, or even that the personhood in all its aspects stops functioning. You don't disappear into a vacuum. No self means that the accumulated assumptions about who I am fall away. So you enter, if you like, or you function, or naked, empty, not vacuous, but empty. But that emptiness is alive with aware, awake presence, the presence of God. God is aware presence. It's vibrant aliveness, both in stillness and in movement. Stillness or silence is not devoid of God. It's all one.